Hey, Cindy, how are y'all doing?
Well, we're surviving. We just had all of the Murray schools were on lockdown
I
here a week
saw
ago,
that.
but it's all clear. It's all clear. It was rumor.
So there's never a gun.
No, no, it was just false report.
Oh my goodness. Somebody's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, probably. But it was a really good thing because Callaway went on lockdown too when they heard it.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. How are you all doing?
We're good. Today's our first day back with all of our kiddos.
Oh wow. That's great.
It is. It's so good to have them back in session.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
Siri, Siri wanted to know that too.
Oh.
How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Cindy, do you have any that have all gone back in session yet?
Sorry, say that again.
Do y'all have any that have gone back in session now?
Yeah, we have a lot that are partially back.
Yeah.
Still doing a hybrid, 2 days and 2 days and whatever variation across all the districts. But pretty much everybody's back to some extent, not necessarily fully.
Good.
Good morning, everyone. How's it going?
Good morning. It's going well, John. How are you?
I'm good. My hair is so bad I had to wear a hat.
No worries.
Hey, Cindy. Hey, Kim.
Hey.
Jessica, how are you?
Good. How are you all?
All right. We'll let a few more folks jump on here. We actually don't have a program today, so I thought we might do our go around the state and have folks share what their current ongoing situation is, their successes, their challenges, anything they may need assistance or guidance on. I know hopefully Amanda will be here and she may have some answers to some questions as well. And then we have a few announcements. Okay, gang, we'll go ahead and get started right at noon here, and we've got a few people still joining, so we'll come back to them. Welcome. Thanks everybody for joining us on what I know is a cold and wet day all across Kentucky. I hope that things are going well for you and your program and all of your folks. I wanted to share a couple of announcements right out of the gate. First and foremost, and everyone should have received an email about it this morning, we are going to be canceling the in-person portion of next week's Board of Directors meeting. So we will not be meeting in person, but we will be meeting via Zoom. And everyone should have a copy of that link. It was sent out with the original invitation on January the 3rd, and I resent it earlier this morning. So everyone should have that. You should have a copy of the agenda, and you should also have received on January 3rd a copy of the new suggested bylaw changes that came from our working group that Cindy Graves chaired. So if you've got any questions between now and then, please let us know. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have about those draft bylaws. Otherwise, our expectation is that we are going to share them with the Board of Directors during the Zoom. We will go through and discuss the significant changes that have been suggested and answer any questions then. And at the conclusion, it would certainly be our hope that there would be a motion, a second, consideration, and adoption of the changed bylaws. So that will be our plan and strategy next Tuesday. So since we're meeting next Tuesday, we will not have this Zoom on Monday. We will be having our Zoom on Tuesday for the Board of Directors meeting. Okay, the next thing, and it's been a very active morning along these lines, we are in the process of canceling the in-person portion of KHSA's 2021 annual conference. The dates that we have for that are March 30th through April 1st. And right now, having had a discussion with Christy at the end of last week, it really is the feeling that we don't even have 2/3 of our programs in person yet. Those programs that are in person are on a reduced capacity basis. And what we're really hearing from programs is that they either are restricted in their travel by some higher ups, their district, their organization, or they're not comfortable traveling. And it really creates a situation where I think if KHSA were to be convening its conference in person, it would be me and Jessica and Christy, and that would be about it. And we really can't go to the time and expense in order for that to happen. That being said, I think that what we did in September with our live virtual event was a rousing success. We had almost 500 different participants, not 500 access points, but over 500 different folks joining. And it's our goal to convene something like that, perhaps even larger than that, in the spring, and then to do it again in the fall. So we really want to put together 2 of these larger virtual conferences to supplant what otherwise would have been our 2021 in-person conference. Just to share with you what I shared with Christy last week. Last Tuesday, I spent a couple of hours with my colleagues, the other association executive directors from around the country. We get together and talk about once a quarter, and it's always a very stimulating conversation. What was interesting is that this time around, the focus was on strategic planning, governance, and bylaws. And I know Kentucky oftentimes in many areas ranks near the bottom. I can tell you we now rank at the top when it comes to those things, because Kentucky, I think, has been leading the way on adopting aggressive strategic plans, looking at our bylaws, challenging ourselves as to governance. And we really are now seen as a leader amongst some of the other associations around the country who now want to emulate many of the things that we're doing, sort of on those association governance fronts. One of the things, though, that we really talked about was how are associations like ours meeting the needs of their members? How are they engaging their members? And what we have found is that there are actually a few that have dismantled their in-person conferences permanently. Even after COVID, they do not plan to come back to what we traditionally think of as an in-person conference. Clearly, there will be many things that these associations do that are in-person committee meetings, in-person special projects, dealing with all sorts of different issues. But as far as having that annual conference, there's a few of them that are getting away from that. And I'm not suggesting that Kentucky do that. But what I am saying is that they are experiencing a lot of success in offering new and more robust virtual events throughout the year. They have increased their revenue that way. They have also increased participation, and they've been able to reach deeper into the Head Start grantees than they otherwise would have been. Because we all know that you can only send a few people to these conferences. Whereas if we're providing many new virtual things throughout the year, that provides a much greater opportunity for you and your staff to participate. So for 2021, we are going to cancel our in-person annual conference, and we will be moving to at least 2 live virtual events, one in the spring, one in the fall. The other thing that I would add to that is, as we think about these bylaws changes that we will consider next week, we really will be looking forward to the standing up of new business-oriented committees within the association. But more importantly, we'll be looking at creating new sections across the association. And these new sections are going to be what we traditionally think of as committees. There's, for instance, we would have education and family services and health and nutrition, data. There could be finance and governance committee that deals with many of the administrative issues that grantees have. These are going to be sort of those committees that will be meeting throughout the year, and there may be in-person opportunities as well as virtual opportunities for those groups to be doing their work. So I guess really what I'm driving at here is I know this is the 3rd time in a year that we will have postponed and or canceled an in-person conference like this. But I will tell you that that really is what everyone else across the country is experiencing in the Head Start world. If you look at NHSA, they have moved their Winter Institute to an online event. And in fact, that's coming up March 9th through 11th. They still have their annual conference listed as in person. I'm not sure how much of that is actually going to take place. They're going to have their conference April 19th to the 23rd. And then Region 4, as we all know, they've converted their annual conference to a virtual event with their pre-conference things on the 17th and 19th of February, and then their general conference on the 23rd to the 26th of February. The good thing about that is we're all going to want to participate because Kentucky is bringing home 1/3 of all the awards that Region 4 is going to be presenting at that conference. So something that we can all be proud of. So having said all of that, I know I rattled off an awful lot, but we're really going to be working to build our virtual presence and be able to provide things that you and your staff can find useful. So having said all of that, I might ask if Christy has anything to share along those lines, and then ask if there are any questions. As far as the dates for these live virtual events, we have not gotten there yet, but I would expect that they would be sometime towards the end of end of April is probably what we would be looking at. I also want to make sure, though, that we're not getting in the way, those of you that may be dealing with having to write grants and deal with audits and other things. We don't want to get in your way as well. So, Christy.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's definitely, I asked all of our staff this morning if everybody floated in on the ark. I could have just gone to pick everybody up. It was crazy. But yeah, I'm excited about what our future holds. I really appreciate John being able to team up with other executive directors. I guess, is it the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same or a different outcome. So I definitely don't want to end up in that boat. And I look forward to moving our association forward in the next few years and seeing the good things that have come out of COVID that we have learned lessons from to improve our association. So I really appreciate his foresight, and it's going to be exciting to see how we move forward. I don't have any other news besides just getting signed up for the Region 4 conference. Make sure that we are participating strong from Kentucky so that we can support those award winners that we have. And hopefully we'll be able to share some of that out soon, as far as who needs to make sure that you're on the calls and conference. I don't have anything else, except I was telling Cindy earlier, today is a great day at Paducah. We have all of our children back here. They are all wearing a mask and they're doing a fantastic job. So the staff have just gone above and beyond in ensuring their health and safety, and the kids are doing the same, wearing their mask. And yeah, it's a great day. So I hope y'all have a wonderful Monday, and I'll continue to lift us all up in prayer and pray that we all stay healthy and safe. Have a great day.
Thanks, Christy. Cindy, before I forget, is there any news from the high school? I saw that they had a lockdown earlier.
Yeah, it's all clear. It was all based on a false report, the word we just got.
Good.
And but we're thankful it's all clear, without any significant,
Mhm.
repercussions. But yeah, both the report was in the Murray district, but Callaway also went on lockdown
Mm.
because we're all right here in the same town. So yeah, it caused a real interesting Monday morning for everybody. Um,
Okay.
Other than that, we're doing good.
Well, good. I'm glad it worked out well. Are there any questions about the information that I just shared in terms of canceling our in-person conference, canceling our board of directors meeting next week, and sort of what our plans are going forward for those things? Okay, I am not seeing any. I know last week I sent out membership cards to everyone that had requested them. If you have not requested membership cards for your staff, please let us know. We will make sure that we send them your way. Let's see, is Jeff on here? Jeff had asked for a certain number and we ran out. I've had to order a few more, so we'll get the remainder to him. If you have not asked, send us a note and we'll make sure we get those out to you. Um, we still have the job board. I think it's going well. I want to ask Kim, I wonder if she's received any applicants based on our job board. I know that would be rather difficult to tell, but we'll see.
John, I don't know the answer to that. Patty Wireman gets those and screens those, and I
Gotcha.
haven't talked to her. We talked last week during a staff meeting on Thursday, and I said, we're the first ones that use the job
Yeah.
posting board. And she said, well, I'll keep you informed and let
Yeah.
you know. So as soon as I know, I'll shoot you an email.
Great, very good. Appreciate it. Yeah, so if anybody else has jobs, just let us know. We'll get those posted. I know we've had a few adjustments to our directory as well. We mentioned the other virtual events that other organizations in HSA and Region 4 are doing. I'll send those around again today so that you're aware of them, as well as the links to registration if you have not signed up for them already. I know that they're being quite aggressive in wanting to get folks to participate, because having been in the association world a long time, when you go from convening in person to not in person, you oftentimes can lose a lot of people who their only interaction with you is in that in-person way. And so trying to make sure that we maintain their participation and indeed enhance our numbers of participation is really the goal. So, we're all learning from one another and moving forward as we can. So with that, I think it might be important for us to go around and just provide an update on what's happening with your program. We did the survey 2 weeks ago, I believe, and you should have received the results at the end of the week before last that indicate sort of where we are, or at least where we were on those days. I think about 2/3 of programs have gone back in person. Most of those are on a reduced capacity. A lot of folks that are still waiting on guidance, either from their districts or from others. So it would be good just to sort of hear where each of our programs are, and if you are having any specific challenges or problems that you think your colleagues may be able to help you with, or if you've got some successes, if there are some things that you've been trying that you think are innovative in order to meet the needs of children and families. I know folks want to hear about that. So we'll do it the same way we have before. I'll call on one person and then it'll be up to that person to choose who goes next. So I don't have to be the bad guy each time. So why don't we start? Cindy, would you mind starting for us?
Don't mind a bit. We are pretty much all back in person, but each one of our districts, it has a different hybrid model. And it's, they're all different. We have one of our license centers is closed right now because of quarantine. So we are seeing an upsurge in both staff and children who are testing positive across our counties, as are the schools. But we're just doing the best we can to make it work and be as much in person as we can. parents are happy about that. Kids are happy about that. Just to be there as much as they can, but yet still maintain the safety first and foremost. So um, beyond that, we're just plugging away and continuing to operate as as much as normal as possible, just like all of you. So still some struggles with dealing with having enough substitutes and enough folks on all of our support services to keep things running, like transportation and food and all of that. We've just been very conscious, particularly like this center that's closed right now for another full week to go. Is making sure that those babies have their formula and diapers and all that we would normally provide, because that's such an added expense to parents, and that's really been a priority for us, is to not cause them undue hardship with taking care of their children when they can't come to the center. So that's what's going on with us. um Shonda, how about you?
Yeah, mute myself. We are still virtual. All counties, all centers are virtual. We are having families that are bringing the child in for at least an hour a week for some in-person learning, just so that we're having that contact with our families and our students. We're still delivering meals and, everything. One of our schools did open up, and they was open for 2 days and had to shut right back down just because of increased casing. Um, we're pretty much going on what the health department in each county is recommending. And so far they have recommended that the schools stay closed. So that's what we're doing our best we can to provide all the services that the families can utilize at home, or, with, like I said, having them come in and get that one-on-one with both teaching staff. Kim?
Thank you. It's a good day for us in Jefferson today. We opened our new center, one of our new centers in Newburgh, opened there this morning. We had 5 children attend. We have 18 going to start, but some of them had meal plans, allergies, and Jefferson County Public Schools is providing our food. So they asked us to give them 2-week notice of those plans. So they're off to a good morning out there. I think the 5 that showed up is having fun. I'll be joining them this afternoon. So we're thrilled to finally get a center open in Jefferson that OVEC's actually running and not just partnering with. We are following the lead of our districts. Most of our districts are back the 11th, the 19th of January. And what they are doing is checking counts on Wednesday and making the decision for the following week. And we are following suit of that. Full day, full years in districts that we can. We have opened, like you all, we're trying to provide as much support as possible with food, diapers, opening the community up. Our kids can join and get meals and those kind of things. And also the OVEC office is still closed due to the high number of cases, but our staff are going to centers from their house and back home. We thought that was better than having them go to a center, come back here, packing germs. And we've limited to 2 visits per center a day. They can go to 2 sites, excuse me, a day, just to try to limit any spread. So that's sort of where we are right now. Things seem to be going well, though. I mean, staff are all hanging in there, and I do see some stressors, but we're really trying to work through those, and we're working on our refunding applications, and that's where we are. Leah?
Hello, sorry, I was on mute. We are actually in person. We came back January 11th. And I was just like doing a few numbers. Right now we have 114 Head Start preschoolers enrolled, and about 60 on average are coming every day. And I think once our district goes back full in person, a lot of our families just aren't sending siblings of kiddos that aren't in person. So I feel like once we go back district wide, and that will be February 25th, that our numbers will increase. And then we're also early Head Start, and we have all 48 of our slots in person every day. So I don't know how we've been so lucky. I knock on wood daily, but since October 12th, we have only had 2 students test positive with COVID, and that was last week. And they were cousins, so they got it, from home and not from our center. So we quarantined that room, and they actually got to come back today. So they were excited. And our main challenge right now is in kind. So if you all have any ideas on that, I could sure use it. We are about $55,000 less at this time of the year than what we should be. And it seems like the end of the year, we get less anyways. So I contacted my program specialist, and when she sent out the in-kind waiver stuff, it's just like, it looks like a nightmare. So it's honestly like it may be easier to get the in-kind, but we're just kind of torn really on what to do right now. So if anybody has any ideas, or if you've done one and you would like to share, I would appreciate it.
Anybody have any experience with that? Anybody have any guidance for Leah on that?
Hey, Leah, this is Christy. So this was my first year to write a waiver, and I did all that work, wrote the waiver, and it got approved.
Okay.
I'll be happy to share any information with you, but we had to do, we also did a waiver for the building project that we have going on, because we knew that there was no way to get all of that in kind for all those building projects.
Right. Okay. I'll reach out to you later.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Y'all also put a little message in the chat. Sorry, I answered my phone. That was Myra calling. In case you can't see the chat, the awards are going to be given out virtually in March in a different setting, closer to the NHSA conference, since we had so many that are going on to the national level. So program award winners have been notified via email. So there you go.
And I have to pick somebody, right? So I will pick Carla.
Hello, I'm going to turn on my camera so I can see everybody, or so you all can see me. Maybe. Okay. Well, here we go. Okay. We are trucking along. We started our in-person services on January the 19th. So we have, out of our 56 early Head Start students, we have 53 that attend Monday through Thursday. And we use Fridays for cleaning, deep cleaning. And then out of our Head Start program, we have 55 that are just virtual only. And we have 365 that are in-person only, hybrid model. So they come 2 days a week. But we are short about 100 Head Start students. So we're still working on our recruitment, but hopefully things will pick up pretty soon. But I just wanted to share that I have a new position with Community Action. I'm looking at you all over here. My camera's here, so that's why I'm looking shifty-eyed here. But I do have a new position with Community Action. I have been appointed as the executive director. So I'm still with Head Start for a little bit, but I will be posting my position on the job board as soon as we have the job description modified, adapted just a little bit. So just wanted to share that with you all today.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, I'm excited. And I'm going to pick, has Rhonda gone? Ms. Rhonda Martin?
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
My microphone on my computer is not working today for some reason, so I've had to call in on my phone also. two of my districts, one of my larger districts and my small district, all of my classrooms are blended with the school system. So like Kim, we follow suit with the school districts. So today is the first day back for two of my districts. So we'll see how that goes. So part of those kids are doing the hybrid, going 2 days a week, and then doing hybrid the other 2 days a week. And then some are doing 4 days a week. So we'll see how that goes. And my biggest challenge is staff. All my staff are they either have COVID or they're in quarantine. So we'll see how this week goes. And I guess I will pick Missy Saylor.
Good morning. Can you all hear me? Good. We started our early Head Start classrooms on January the 4th. We've been really operating those since June. We've not had much of a downtime with early Head Start. We have about 2/3 of our children attend on a regular basis. We're providing virtual services to the families who do not feel comfortable sending their children to school yet, and also providing diapers and formula to those children as well. Head Start classrooms were still virtual. We had aimed to come back the 1st of January, but we just didn't feel comfortable with the high rate in our service area, so we're still virtual. We're shooting now for the 1st of February to go in person, and we're just going to meet the last week of January to see if that's feasible. We are delivering meals to all the children who are enrolled in Head Start who wants the meal deliveries. Our blended classrooms, we're following the school district schedules. Some are saying, I've been out of the office, so I'm not real sure where we are at today, but most of them are still virtual. We have some that are doing the AB schedule, and it changes on a regular basis. Our biggest challenge is we're seeing COVID making its 2nd and 3rd round in some of our centers with our staff. We've got one center that's got 2 early Head Start classrooms that's closed again for the 3rd time because of staff, not the children, it's the staff, but it's making its rounds again. So that seems to be our big challenge right now. And I will choose Renee.
Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon. We are actually still doing the same thing that we have been doing from the beginning. We're still virtual and still providing all the services, that we've been doing all along. So I won't go into that. I have put in a recommendation to my executive director as far as whether we open up or continue virtual, but I haven't gotten any word back from him yet in regards to February. We are, as far as the in-kind thing, we're also going to write in a waiver on that as well. And I foresee when we do get started back up, staffing being a problem for us as well. We are also in the process of writing our grant renewal. So that's basically what LKLP's got going on. Oh, I will pick James.
Yes. So up here in Northern, we are back to in person. We have been in person ever since the end of September and then went virtual like the end of November, the whole month of December. So right after Christmas break, January 11th, I believe, is when we all came back. Like everybody else, we are kind of struggling like with staffing, in kind. And on top of all of that, we are getting ready for our Focus 2 monitoring, which is the week of February 22nd. So not that it wasn't already stressful enough. So we are just getting ready for that and still trucking along. We increased our capacity from 12 children to 13. So we're kind of seeing how that goes. And then other than that, yeah, that's it. And then I am not quite sure who has not.
Let's see. Christy, did you go in terms of sharing what your program's doing?
I just shared, yes, I just shared
Oh.
that we have, we're all back in person today.
Yeah.
We still have our virtual option. And so we have, probably a little over 100 kids still on virtual. That's going well. I think, just like everybody shared, our biggest challenge is making sure that we have the staff here. We have 0 subs. So when a class has to quarantine, they're all down. And I understand it from the subs point of view as well. They don't want to be bouncing around between class and class. The other piece to this is ensuring everybody's morale stays up. So this Friday, we are going over to our new innovation hub, and everybody's going to spend a little time. We've got a little PD plan that everybody's going to do their one word, and we're going to carve that on a piece of wood and stain and paint those. So trying to think of ideas to encourage staff to connect as well, and have a little time of fellowship and fun.
Thank you. Is there anybody who has not gone who would like to go? I think we've got.
Haven't heard from Justin.
Haven't heard from Justin. I didn't know if he wanted to say anything. I know we heard from Renee at LKLP. Justin, what's up?
Renee covered everything for us. Thank you.
You bet. All right, gang. I am not seeing anybody else. Looks like Pam Chandler's on or just got on. We'll see if Pam wants to share anything. Hey, Pam. How are you? Oh, maybe having technical difficulties. All right, guys. Well, I think that's what we've got for this week in terms of sharing. Are there any questions, comments? I will send around a quick update with some of the things that I mentioned, as well as a request from Leah when it comes to the waiver example. And we'll see if folks have any that they can share that may be useful for a variety of programs. Any other thoughts or questions? Good for the order before we adjourn? All right, I'm not hearing any. I'll remind everyone that we will not meet next Monday, and instead we'll be meeting next Tuesday for our Board of Directors meeting via Zoom at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. If you have not received any of that information or do not have it, please let me know and I'll make sure that you get it. Otherwise, I hope everyone has a great week and that it stops raining and gets warmer. See everybody soon.